So I have here,
Right.
the zoning amendments that are being proposed, including the citizens petition that you're talking about, which is to do two things: to repeal all of TNOZ2, otherwise sometimes known as TND2. So to repeal that whole thing, and then also to amend TND1 or TNOZ1, and so basically, part of their argument is that, because I have a fact sheet from them, why are we opposing the repeal and so forth, is that, some of the things they say is, like one of their first bold thing is, our amendment repeals TNOZ2 and amends TNOZ1 to reduce its density and increase its setbacks. And they have a picture with tiny lots and tiny setbacks. So that's one of their arguments.
Okay.
in the particularly in the amend, the TND1 thing.
Sure.
And they give examples of that. And so, in fact, on this sheet, in what the part that we're going to be voting on, that's one of the things they talk about is within the general district to increase lot sizes or frontage and lot sizes. So instead of 50 feet frontage, which, by the way, is about what my house is,
Yeah.
and lots of other small houses like around us, like if you go, well, there are lots of them in historically appropriate houses that are 50 feet frontage on the street. And they're saying, well, that has to be 75 feet now. That's a lot bigger. So that does not promote density. That's anti-density, I would say, And similarly, if a single family can't be 5,000 square feet, it has to be 7,500 square feet. This is, again, within the general residence district. This is on this sheet that you'll all be voting on. Multifamily, so forth. They're also concerned about setbacks. So in no instance shall the front setback be less than, now it says, and maybe I'm on the wrong thing, they want to make it 20 feet, minimum side and rear setbacks. Right now it's 10 feet. It has to be 20 feet. So that's actually quite big expansion. And again, I keep using my house. It's like, yeah, we're not 20 feet from Mike and Marcia. I'm not
Sure.
20 feet from Bob. So maybe where I live, which is 10 Elm Street, I'm on a non-conforming whatever. I don't know. But it's like, this is great density, This is good. This allows people to build in a way that is historically accurate, as historically appropriate. So those are some of the things about it. So the thing about affordability, it is interesting to me that they keep saying affordable, affordable, affordable. And yet those to me seem separate issues. You can't get flexible, that's another word that leads to affordability, flexible housing. You can't get better flexible varieties of housing if you don't address issues of density. To address issues of density, you have to address lot size, frontages, side and front setbacks, all the stuff that we're dealing with. So part of the route to affordability is not to make it harder to do smaller, denser, even multifamily things, but to make that more possible. So another example, take the Vine Street cottages right now. They're not affordable, but they're helping to create flexibility. They're helping to add stock to the housing stock in this town. Well, you're going to need more of it, evidently, because even people who try to rent a nice apartment say, I can't find one, There just aren't very many apartments to rent. Or, as you say, the starter dwelling. Like if you're a couple, maybe you don't want to live in a big farmhouse. You want to live in something a little bit more tiny-ish, So where are you going to find that? If it's a lot that would otherwise have one house on it, but now it could have a triplex or a duplex that looks like an old-fashioned house, that gives us 3 more units, right? So that helps us to get to affordability. Another way to get better affordability is to be using, like downtown, those some places have done it well with mill buildings, so there's this great old building because they made buildings really well, houses and things.
West
you know.
Peterborough, the
Yeah, West Pete,
greengrocer above. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a perfect example of that. I don't know how much those cost, but one of the things that you say that they say works best for affordable housing is that it should be approximately 1 out of 5, like in an area, and it should be mixed. You shouldn't just have 20% affordable housing over here and 80% like you say, rich people over here.
I mean, isn't that
like
kind of
separate.
a miniature version of redlining in a way? Like,
yeah, or just like
saying like, oh, the poor people have to be here, and the rich people can be here, and this is the line.
To some extent, some of that's what it looks like. We have our subsidized housing, sort of the big, and it would be better if it's woven in, so that there's other ways you have mixed incomes in a space. And that's one of the reasons I kind of really like my street, is like, we know we have apartment buildings. I don't know if we have actual subsidized housing, but my guess is that some of the housing on our street is more affordable, like 2 houses down from us and across the kind of the corner of Union and here. It's denser. It's definitely apartment style, but in the old buildings, that was one of the things that the form-based code would have given us. Like that building that's on the corner, it's Union Street, and then the side of it hits down Elm. You know the one I mean, the white one with lots of things. So in the form-based code, that's called an inn structure. And when you look at the old pictures of when the basket factory was here, that's what it was. Awesome. We should have plenty more of that. That's affordable housing.
Right.